Good day out there, friends and family. Star Interstellar here. As usual, I want to go ahead and start with a little prayer and invocation, just really tapping us into this connection of what wants to come through here. So I want to give a deep gratitude and thanks to the Divine Mother, Holy Eternal Womb Space that you provide for our lives, our loves, our seeds, our prayers, our petitions. And deep gratitude and thanks to the Eternal Holy Father, that one truth and love and point within us that connects us deep into source, always giving us that which allows us to evolve deeper, evolve into greater heights. And deep gratitude and thanks to the eternal child, that spiral force of unconditional love that brings us into greater coherence and connection, ascension, and allowing us to embody our unique mystery. And finally, I just want to ask and give gratitude that everything here that is transmitted today is only of the highest and best, and for the highest and best of myself and anyone out here connecting or listening. So today, what I want to share a little bit about is what I like to call the child of a relationship, or the mysterious third thing of a relationship. And this is not a new concept per se, the way that I may share about it, and some things that I may share about it may be totally new, but a lot of people throughout time have definitely known this. When two people come together in a bond, in a relationship, in a connection, there is a third thing that is the energetics, the dynamics, the life of their relationship, separate from the two individuals unto itself. This is why there are astrology charts that are made for the moment that people come together, or the moment that there's a marriage done, or that people consummate a relationship and things like this. And this goes back to why many people have connected with astrologers over the ages in terms of relationship things, because this is why people consult sages and oracles and astrologers about when to get married, when to have a child, and these different things, because there are the dynamics that go on there in a relationship, right? There is a chart cast to see different dynamics of the moment that two people come together. And there are different charts that are cast depending on different mile markers in terms of the amount that people are merging together. There's just the first meeting and connection and physical space, and then there's the first time people kiss, if they take to that level relationship, and then there's sexually consummating a relationship, which now you're getting into the DNA, the actual liquids of the two people are coming together and starting to form and merge and co-create in that way. And then there's charts cast of marriages, because this is like a full merger of different aspects of life. And this is why people originally renewed their vows, is because they wanted to reset the energetics of the relationship, because that dynamic is so important. So that is a little bit more about just kind of like overall dynamics, but then there is also what's happening oracally and energetically. This came through for me to share today because I had this really beautiful experience yesterday. I've had a number of these experiences, but in particular, this is why this came up to share. So, I had a couple great friends in my community, and they came to me, and they're just kind of dealing with some challenges, working through some things in their connection, the relationship, as all relations have. And because of the work that I do, I go into the Akashic, into people's auras and soul grids, and realign them and transmute stagnant energy, those things that are no longer serving them. And I've also done this many times in relationships where And this is how I came to a deep level of this awareness. You know, when two people come together in a connection, their relationship has an energy body of its own, it has a life of its own. And when things are not addressed, right? But there's many different layers to this, right? So for starters, when two people come together, there's a certain alchemy that happens, right? And this is why Tantra as a pathway is so powerful. The true science of Hieros Gamos and the union of two twins or two soulmates or two people on the path of co-creating with sexual force, because those spirals and those imprints of their genetics start to weave together, right? And this is literally, those charts are, you know, we look at the genetic imprint of the universe, which spirals down into our solar system, right? Our solar system is the DNA of the universe. And then that spirals down into our unique individuality. We have our own individual slice of this solar system DNA, this blueprint, which mirrors as our genetics. And so two people come together and they start to weave those energies together at specific times and places, because our systems evolve over time, and then people come together and relationships evolve over time. And so as two people come together and they start to weave their energetics, then first of all, you know, things will come up. Different shadows, traumas, programs, conditionings, these things come up as the relationships will allow us to see different angles of that light, feel different things that we haven't felt before, as these electromagnetic connections, these different connections in our auric field, they merge and kind of match and mirror with people around us. And it allows us to feel, and generally speaking, it allows us to be able to confront different things within ourselves if they aren't in alignment, or perhaps see different things about the world or other people or the relationship. And so there's that layer. And then there is, as those energies come together, there are different things that take on a life of their own, right? If two people, let's say, come together and there is challenges or difficulties that aren't spoken to, brought up, and worked through, then the child, that third thing of the relationship, can gain its own wounds, right? Its own traumas, its programs, its conditions. You know, two people's life force comes together as creators, because we each individually are our own universe, right? We are a creator, a co-creator of this reality unto ourselves. And so we have the ability to give things life, to make magic, both in the energetic realms and on the physical realm, right? So this is how two people have the ability to come together and make a physical baby, because they harness the energetics of the ability to create life, to bring life to things. So this also happens on all these layers, these universal layers, all the way from the highest heavens into this, you know, physical space. And so as two people come together in a relationship, there is also a child of their relationship. It's its own planet or its own universe of sorts. And as two people come together, there is the ability to create more love, more pleasure, more finances. They're all just like we each as individuals have these different aspects of ourselves, our lives, our relationships with the universe as a whole, right? Like in my life, there is an aspect of my world that is finances, right? And that is, of course, talked about in an astrology chart. There is the love of my life, children. There is all these different levels and layers. A relationship has the same thing. And So there's the ability on this world, this child that we create with another, there's ability to feed certain things, to fuel certain things, to water things and give them more life. Then there is the ability to neglect certain aspects, and they don't really thrive in the way that they could or are meant to, right? And when we neglect those certain things, these can become feelings of resentment or disconnection or challenge or pain, things like this, right? And so my friends, they were there and they had these challenges, and I went into the auric field of their relationship and found these points of stagnancy that have been created in that child, that energetic body that's created when they come together. And I transmuted the stagnancy and shifted it and reorganized so they can then have greater awareness about themselves, their relationship, and that child of the relationship that they're creating together. And this is very beautiful and profound to understand these things when we connect with other people. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because this is so important as an awareness in our lives when we connect with anybody, but especially, of course, in our relationships that involve love and sacred union and that bond of sexuality and romance and things like that, because that enters into such a new, deeper, more magical, co-creative layer with someone, right? It brings all of new levels and layers of energetics that are so beautiful and so profound. And it also means that those two people are coming together to harness much more powerful energetics and the ability to give life to those templates, to those aspects of our self in a relationship, gain much more power and magnitude when we come together in that way. And I feel what's also really important to share with this is why it's so important for communication. This is why it's so important to have these different tools of working with energy when we come into any relationship, but especially relationships that involve sacred union and love. Because when we come together in that way, if we come together with another person and we have things that, challenges that come up, pains that come up, things that are really bothering us or just difficult for us in that relationship, and we don't share to that other person, we just kind of ignore it, we don't communicate about it because of some sort of fear or shame or doubt or worry or something like that, we're literally in that third thing of the relationship, we're giving fuel and life force to the darkness, right? To dark forces. Because what is darkness? Darkness is just a lack of awareness. It's a lack of communication or attention or awareness of a energetic dynamic in a relationship. So what can often happen to relationships is people come together and let's say it's just out of fear around something, they won't speak to something that is difficult for them. Why? Usually because of something like a fear of love getting retracted, right? If I share this, how will this person feel? They may retract their love from me, and then I won't get what I need out of them, or whatever the relationship, or like I may lose them, or whatever that is, right? Well, this is why first and foremost in our relationships, it's important to connect to Father, Mother, God, Source within, because there's nothing in a relationship, nothing external that can actually fulfill the things that our mind tells us is looking for, our ego tells us is looking for. That can only come from Father, Mother, God, Source within, right? But we can connect with another and bring and multiply beyond what we are. This is co-creation, right? And this is as a complete multiverse, this is why creation originally happened, is because the original Father, Mother, God source wanted to make more versions of itself out of unconditional love. I'm going to create more co-creators so that the eternal love, unconditional love, can expand more and go further, right? And so when we tap into that wholeness and completeness within ourselves, then we look at another person as a mate, a co-creator to create even more and greater than we ever could by ourselves. But we don't need anything from that person. You know, we look at a need from someone else to fulfill something empty within us. Then we get those dynamics that are like sticky and messy and codependent and those sorts of things. And that's when we get cords that need to be cut, these kind of unspoken sticky dynamics with other people that need to be shifted and reorganized and healed and mended and things like that. But when we come to another person and we look at them as, another equal co-creator that we can expand our experience of the universe with, then we still have things that can come up and of course need to be healed and shifted, but it comes with a different dynamic. And I just wanted to share that because I feel it's so important to just have this awareness in our relationships that there is this third thing, that this third thing in the relationship has this child, this world, this life of its own. So it's important to have the awareness of tending to that like you would a child, right? Like it would an actual child. And this is, of course, in a way, really what the awareness that people should have before they ever create a physical child, right? Because having that awareness and that sensitivity to those needs of the energetic dynamics of the world that two people are co-creating, right? They're co-creating a world together, a new life, a new timeline, a new reality together by them coming together. And should it so choose to deem necessary to create necessary or desire to create an actual physical child, then there is the awareness of those different dynamics. How healthy is the ecosystem of this world that we're co-creating together? Is it ready for a physical child? Is that even in the timeline, or is it not? Or is it more about, making sure that this aspect, this dynamic of our relationship over here is healthy and taken care of? And is, are we coming together to create art? And is there a healthy relationship and dynamic there? And having that sensitivity into that awareness and being able to be fully open and transparent and connect on all those levels and layers, which can only happen when we come from a place of full wholeness and unconditional love within ourselves. And yeah, so that's my transmission for today. If this has been helpful for you, of course, go ahead and smash up that like button, comment, connect with me, follow me on social media. There are the links below. And as usual, I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope this transmission serves you on your path and journey. And can't wait to share more with you in the future. Star Interstellar. Blessings.